So one of today's call-outs was to look at an oven, but the suppliers wouldn't fit. This is quite a standard procedure because normally they just open the oven or take it out and see something they don't like, so they won't put it in. So first it was to get the other oven out and see what was actually behind it and see what the issue was. It's normally the same sort of stuff. On this occasion there was a hob isolator that isolated and split both the oven and the hob itself, but the connection box was pretty badly done behind, and you could see exposed inner cores as well. It was on a 32 amp, and combined technically both would be about 38 or 39 amps, so I wanted to try and rectify that anyway. Fortunately, and clearly there'd obviously been a purpose for this before, that little JB on the left was a ring circuit that had just been connected in the back. So I thought of the idea of pulling those out and installing a single socket ready for the oven, and then converting the hob on its own. There wasn't enough room in the back of the cupboard to do that with the oven sliding in too, so I dropped the cables below and put it into a single socket that then fixed to the side of the cabinet. I was going to do it as a floating socket, but then I decided against it just in case of any water pooling underneath. Drilled a hole in the back of the cupboard so you could fit the plug top through, and then dropped it through, and once it was inserted you could then just plug it in under the cabinet, and it was all perfectly accessible under the plinth itself. Had to sweep up before putting the oven in because couldn't leave all that mess in the back of there, so got rid of all that and then slid the oven in. It was slightly smaller than the existing oven, but the customer didn't really care, and it was just a case of getting the fixings back in and holding it back. We'd already checked to see if this one was working, and now we had a separate circuit. So the hob isolator just isolated the hob itself, and that was on its own circuit entirely. Now the oven was back on with the kitchen ring again, only pulled about 9 amps or so anyway, and that was on max, so it's very unlikely to cause any loading issues based on what else was in the kitchen. That was the best I could come up with at the time on a call out. Let us know if you'd have done any different, but the customer was happy. Another call out done. Follow us for more.